The crack of her palm against his cheek echoed louder than the laughter from the backyard barbecue, freezing the summer air in Willow Creek, Ohio, like a bad country song nobody wanted to hear. Alex stumbled back, tasting copper on his lip, the sting blooming hot and immediate as his stepmother's diamond ring caught the edge of his jaw, her eyes wild with that familiar mix of fury and fear, the kind that had haunted their house since Dad married her a decade ago. "You think you can parade this filth in front of family?" she hissed, her voice slicing through the stunned silence of aunts, uncles, and cousins who clutched their plastic cups of Bud Light like shields. He didn't cry. Not then, not with 30 pairs of eyes boring into him like Judgment Day spotlights. But inside, something fractured, a quiet dam he'd built since he was 14 and first realized the boys in gym class made his heart stutter in ways the girls never could. Ethan, his boyfriend of 6 months, stood frozen 2 steps away, his hand half extended as if to pull Alex back from the abyss. But the abyss was already swallowing them whole. As the whispers erupted like fireworks gone wrong, Alex locked eyes with his stepmother, Evelyn, and whispered the words he'd rehearsed in the mirror 1,000 times. "I'm gay, Evelyn, and I love him. Deal with it or don't. But this is me." The party unraveled faster than a cheap sweater in a dryer. Uncle Ray coughed into his fist, muttering about kids these days, while Cousin Jenny's kids tugged at her skirt, wide-eyed and confused, their innocence a stark contrast to the venom now curdling the potato salad air. Evelyn's face twisted, part mortification, part vindication, as if this was the proof she'd always suspected, the phase she'd prayed would pass like a bad flu. She'd raised him, after all, since his real mom, Laura, vanished into the ether when Alex was 8. A car accident on I-71, they said, but the details were always fuzzy, wrapped in the kind of small-town grief that gets buried under casseroles and closed doors. Alex grabbed Ethan's hand, the warmth of it a lifeline in the chaos, and stormed toward the gravel driveway where his beat-up Ford Focus waited like an old friend. "Get in," he growled, keys jangling in his fist, the engine roaring to life with a vengeance that matched the blood pounding in his temples. They peeled out, tires spitting stones like accusations, leaving the party, and Evelyn's glare in the rearview, but Alex knew it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Willow Creek didn't let go of its secrets easy, and his was the kind that could unravel the whole damn tapestry. By the time they hit the county line, the adrenaline crash hit like a freight train. Ethan, with his easy smile and that tattoo of a compass rose on his forearm, pointing true north, he joked on their first date, squeezed Alex's knee. "You okay, babe?" That was intense. Intense didn't cover it. Alex's cheek throbbed, a purple promise forming under the skin, but it was the hollowness in his chest that hurt worse, the echo of Evelyn's words, "Filth," as if loving Ethan, with his laugh like summer thunder and hands that traced constellations on Alex's back, was some kind of stain. They ended up at the Quarry Lake, a hidden gem 10 miles out of town where the water shimmered black under the moon, fringed by pines that whispered secrets to anyone desperate enough to listen. Alex killed the engine, and they sat there, windows down, the crickets filling the silence like a reluctant audience. "She hates me," he said finally, voice cracking on the edges. "Always has. Ever since Dad died last year. It's like she's waiting for me to turn into him. Stoic, straight, the perfect American son. But I'm not. I can't be." Ethan pulled him close, their foreheads touching, breaths mingling in the humid night. "Then don't. You're Alex freaking Harlan, the guy who rebuilt that engine blindfolded and still dreams in poetry. Screw her script." It was moments like this that made Alex believe in something bigger, maybe fate, maybe just dumb luck, that had brought Ethan into his life 6 months back at the county fair. Ethan, the out-of-towner fixing up the old mill for his graphic design gig in Cleveland, with eyes like aged whiskey and a habit of quoting Walt Whitman at the worst or best times. They talked until the stars blurred, Ethan's fingers threading through Alex's hair, grounding him. But sleep, when it came later in Ethan's cramped apartment above the hardware store, was fitful, haunted by Evelyn's slap, by the way her wedding band had glinted like a warning. And beneath it all, a nagging pull toward the attic back home, where boxes of his mom's things gathered dust, untouched since the funeral. Laura Harlan. The free spirit who'd baked apple pies with chili peppers inside and read him bedtime stories about knights who kissed instead of fought. What would she say now? Would she slap him too? Or hold him tighter? Morning brought hangover regrets without the booze. Texts from cousins? WTF happened? A voiceless voicemail from Evelyn that Alex deleted without playing. He drove Ethan to work, their goodbye kiss lingering like a promise, then headed to the local garage where he wrench-ed cars for minimum wage and dreams of community college. The boss, old Mr. Kowalski, clapped him on the shoulder with a gruff, "Heard about the shindig. Family's family, kid. But you're gold." It was the closest Willow Creek came to a hug, and Alex clung to it like rust on a fender. That afternoon, avoidance turned to inevitability. He had to go back. Clothes, his laptop, the life he'd built in that creaky Victorian on Elm Street. The house loomed as he pulled up, porch swing creaking empty, the American flag limp in the heat. Evelyn's Prius was gone. Church committee meeting, probably, plotting salvation over lemon bars. Inside, the air was stale, thick with the scent of her lavender candles masking the ghosts. Alex beelined for his room, stuffing jeans and tees into a duffel, but paused at the hallway mirror. His reflection a stranger, cheek bruised like a rotten peach. Down the hall, Dad's old study, now Evelyn's domain, called like a siren's song. The attic stairs were there, pull-down ladder dusty from disuse. Heart hammering, he yanked the cord, the stairs unfolding with a groan. Up he climbed, flashlight beam cutting shadows, the air up here thick with mothballs and memory. Boxes labeled in his mom's looping script, books, photos, keep for Alex. He sank to his knees beside the one marked letters, lid warped from years of neglect. Inside, a rubber-banded stack, envelopes yellowed but intact, addressed to my dearest Laura, in a handwriting Alex didn't recognize. Feminine, bold, postmarked from San Francisco, New York, even Paris. His breath hitched. Mom's letters? No, these were to her from someone named Jordan. He untied the band, fingers trembling, and pulled the top one free, dated 1992, a year before he was born. Laura, my wild one. God, I miss the way you laugh, like thunder rolling over the Rockies. Last night, I danced with a stranger just to feel your ghost in the spin. When are you coming back to me? The city's too loud without your quiet fire. Yours always, Jordan. Alex's world tilted. Jordan, a woman. His mom, loving a woman. The pieces clicked. The aunt who'd visited once, with short-cropped hair and stories of California beaches. The way Laura would hum show tunes late at night, eyes distant and dreamy. She'd hidden it, for Dad, for the town, for him. But here it was, proof in ink. She wasn't ashamed. She was alive, in every looping L and pressed flower tucked between pages. He read on, devouring missives of stolen weekends in motels off Route 66, arguments over commitment that ended in tears and make-up kisses under neon signs, dreams of a life unapologetic. Jordan's words painted Laura not as the saintly ghost he'd idolized, but as flesh and fire, a woman who chose love over convention, even if it meant heartbreak. One letter gutted him. I can't leave him, Jay. Not with the baby coming. But know this, you're my North Star. If Alex ever asks, tell him his mom loved fierce and true. No regrets. Tears blurred the page, hot and unbidden. All this time, Evelyn's barbs, don't be soft, Alex, men don't cry, had been her armor against what she sensed in him, the echo of Laura's deviance. But now he had ammunition not just for survival but for truth. The front door slammed below. Evelyn home early, her heels clicking like accusations. Alex shoved the letters into his bag, heart racing, and bolted down the stairs, duffel thumping against his thigh. She met him in the foyer, arms crossed, face a mask of frost. Leaving so soon? After that spectacle. He met her gaze, the bruise on his cheek her signature. Yeah, but before I go, you should know Mom wasn't wrong. She loved who she loved, and neither am I. Her eyes narrowed, but for the first time, uncertainty flickered. What nonsense is this? Your mother was a good Christian woman. Alex unzipped the bag, pulling out the top letter, holding it like a shield. Read it. Jordan. San Francisco, 1992. She was bi, Evelyn. Or gay. Whatever, she loved a woman. Deeply. And she raised me to be honest, even if she couldn't be. The color drained from Evelyn's face, the letter trembling in her hand as she scanned it. Silence stretched, broken only by the tick of the grandfather clock. Then softly, I knew she was different. Your father never said. But the way she looked at that friend of hers scared me, made me think I'd have to fix it in you. Alex's throat tightened. You can't fix what isn't broken. I love Ethan, like Mom loved Jordan. And if you slap me again, it'll be assault, not discipline. She sank onto the stairs, the letter crumpling in her lap, and for a heartbeat, Willow Creek felt less like a cage and more like a crossroads. Ethan's apartment became Alex's bunker that night. The letters spread across the coffee table like a forbidden map to buried treasure. He paced the threadbare rug, whiskey tumbler in hand. Ethan's cheap bourbon, smooth as regret, while his boyfriend scrolled through takeout menus on his phone, pretending normalcy. Thai? Or that pizza place with the weird toppings? Ethan asked, voice light, but his eyes darted to the envelopes, curiosity warring with caution. Whatever, Alex muttered, sinking onto the sagging couch. The bruise on his cheek itched under the ice pack, a constant reminder of the chasm he'd pried open. Telling Evelyn had been a grenade toss. Now the shrapnel was everywhere. You should have seen her face, man. Like I'd handed her a rattlesnake. Ethan set the phone down, sliding close enough that their thighs pressed, a quiet anchor. Proud of you, though. Takes guts to call bullshit on family. He traced the edge of the bruise with feather-light fingers, wincing. Does it hurt bad? Not as much as the truth. Alex handed him the letter from Jordan, the one about the baby, the North Star. Ethan's brows furrowed as he read, his graphic designer's eye catching the flourish in the script, the faded postmark like a timestamp on a love long paused. Damn, Ethan breathed, passing it back. Your mom was a badass. Hiding this in plain sight, in Ohio, that's romantic as hell. Tragic, but the good kind. He paused, that Whitman glint in his eye. I am he that walks with the tender and growing night. She sounds like she lived that. Alex chuckled, bittersweet. Yeah, well, she died before I could ask. Car wreck. Dad said she was heading to visit family in Cali. Now I get it, Jordan. The name tasted like salt on his tongue. A ghost he'd never met but already mourned. What if she'd lived? Would weekends have been road trips to the coast? Stories of women who loved without apology? Instead, he'd gotten Evelyn's version. Sunday school, crew cuts, and boys don't hold hands. The buzzer for Thai food jolted them, and over pad CW and spring rolls, the story spilled. Laura's hidden fire, the slap's aftermath, the fragile truce with Evelyn. Ethan listened, chopsticks poised, his presence a bomb. That's what Alex loved most. Ethan's unflinching normal. No drama, just steady. Like the way he'd shown up at the fair with a corn dog and a grin, asking about Alex's vintage Mustang rebuild as if it were foreplay. 6 months in, and it still felt like stealing time. But Willow Creek wasn't Cleveland. It gossiped faster than it grew corn. By morning, Alex's phone buzzed with fallout. Jenny's text, Aunt Ev's a wreck. Call her. A missed call from Pastor Hale. Counseling, son? God's got a plan. And worst, a screenshot from the town Facebook group, blurry photo of the slap, captioned Harlan family drama. What's the real story? Willow Creek tea. His stomach nodded. Ethan, bleary-eyed over coffee, peered over his shoulder. Small towns, huh? Like high school with mortgages. Worse, Alex said, deleting the app. At least high school ends. He dressed for the garage, kissing Ethan goodbye with an edge of desperation. Lingering, tasting curry and promise. Work was a grind. Oil changes, carburetor curses, Mr. Kowalski's side eye that said he knew but wouldn't pry. Mid-afternoon, the bay door rattled open, and enrolled Evelyn's Prius, her behind the wheel like a storm cloud. She stepped out in capris and pearls, face drawn, clutching a Tupperware of what smelled like meatloaf. "Alex," she said, voice small, "we need to talk." He wiped grease from his hands on a rag, heart thudding. "Here? Or are you gonna slap me in front of the whole town?" Her flinch was visceral. I'm sorry. For that. It was wrong." She thrust the container forward like a peace offering. "I made your favorite, and I read the rest. All of them." The garage fell quiet, tools clanging distant. Alex took the Tupperware, the warmth seeping through plastic. "And?" Evelyn glanced away, toward the rusted swing set across the street where kids hooped on the chains. "Your mother. She was brave. I envied that, you know? Always so light, like she floated above the rules. I thought marrying Tom would ground me, make me part of that. But then she died and it was just us. I tried to protect you from what she had, the loneliness. Turns out, I just hurt you more." It was the closest she'd come to vulnerability, her pearls a shield cracking. Alex softened just a fraction. "It wasn't loneliness, Evelyn. It was love. Real messy love. Like what I have with Ethan." She nodded, slow, eyes glistening. "I met him once, at the diner. Seemed decent. But the church, the town, they'll talk. Let 'em." He set the meatloaf on a workbench. "Or don't. But if you want in my life, you meet him. As family." A tentative smile ghosted her lips, the first in years. "Dinner? Friday?" As she drove off, Alex exhaled, the weight lifting an inch. Maybe bridges could be rebuilt, one meatloaf at a time. But that night, over burgers at the drive-in with Ethan, doubt crept back. Ethan's phone lit up mid-bite. A text he angled away from view, thumb hovering before pocketing it. "Clients," he mumbled, but his laugh rang false. "You sure?" Alex pressed, ketchup packet twisting in his fingers. "Yeah, babe. Storyboards for some ad gig." Kiss, deflection, change of subject to the meteor shower they'd catch later. Under the stars, wrapped in a quilt on Ethan's truck bed. It almost worked. The sky a velvet dome, streaks of light like wishes granted. But Alex couldn't shake the unease. The way Ethan's gaze lingered on the horizon, distant as the Rockies his mom once chased. Days blurred into a fragile rhythm. Garage shifts, stolen lunches with Ethan at the mill where he sketched logos that popped like fireworks. Evenings poring over letters with a highlighter, decoding Laura's coded replies tucked in the margins. One revealed a betrayal, Jordan's plea after Laura chose family. "You promised forever." Was it all smoke? Alex's chest ached. Love wasn't linear, wasn't safe. Yet here he was betting on it. Friday dinner loomed like a high-wire act. Evelyn's table was set with the good china. Candles flickering against the wallpaper Dad had hung himself. Ethan arrived in button-down and chinos, charming as a Kennedy, bearing wine and a nervous grin. "Mrs. Harlan, Evelyn, nice to meet you properly." She shook his hand, stiff but trying, serving roast chicken with sides that screamed overcompensation. Conversation danced. Weather, the Mills Reno, Ethan's art stuff. Alex watched, tense, the letters burning a hole in his jacket pocket. Midway through pie, Evelyn cleared her throat. "Ethan, Alex told me about. You too. It's new for me, but he's a good boy. Deserves good." Ethan's smile warmed genuine. "He's the best part of my day, ma'am. Always has been." The air thawed, laughter bubbling tentative. Evelyn's story of Alex's toddler tantrums over green beans. Ethan's tale of their fairground meet-cute. For an hour, the house felt like home, not a battlefield. As they cleared plates, Evelyn pulled Alex aside in the kitchen. "He's kind. Reminds me of your father, in a way. Steady." Alex hugged her, quick and fierce, the first in memory. "Thanks for trying." But driving home, Ethan's phone buzzed again. Insistent. This time he answered in the passenger seat. Voice low. "Yeah, now's fine. Send it over." Alex glanced over, catching Cleveland in the reply flash before Ethan locked the screen. "Everything good?" Casual, but his gut twisted. "Yep. Deadline crunch. Another kiss, but it landed off-center like a puzzle piece forced. That night, as they tangled in sheets scented with sawdust and soap, Alex whispered against Ethan's neck, "I love you. You know that, right?" The words hung vulnerable as the letters. "Love you too," Ethan murmured. But his arms held a beat too loose, and in the dark, Alex wondered if North Stars could dim. The betrayal came on a Tuesday, unannounced as a Midwest thunderstorm, rolling in with the kind of fury that floods basements and upends lives. Alex was elbow-deep in a transmission at the garage when his phone trilled. Jenny's name, not a text but a call, her voice breathless and edged with that cousinly mix of glee and guilt. "Alex, you gotta see this." "Ethan's." "Oh God, I'm sorry." "See what?" Grease smeared his screen as he swiped, her forwarded link opening to the Willow Creek group chat. Now a full-blown forum bonanza. There, time-stamped last night. A photo of Ethan at O'Malley's pub in Cleveland, arms around a guy Alex didn't know, broad-shouldered with a beard like a lumberjack's. Their faces close over pints, captions screaming double life, Harlan boyfriend exposed. Below, comments piled like debris. Knew he was too smooth. Town bike rides again. Poor Alex. First his mom, now this. His world narrowed to the drip of oil from the hoist, the hammer in his chest. "Mr. Kowalski's, you good, kid?" Barely registered as Alex bolted to the break room, door slamming, breaths ragged. He dialed Ethan, voicemail after voicemail. "What the hell, man? Call me. Now." The photo burned. Not the kiss, but the lie in Ethan's eyes, the way he'd angled away from prying eyes all those weeks. By quitting time, rage had calcified into something colder. Resolve. He drove to the mill, the old brick building skeletal under scaffolding. Ethan's truck parked crooked like guilt. Inside, the space hummed drop cloths, paint cans, the scent of turpentine sharp as betrayal. Ethan emerged from the back, smudged with charcoal, surprise flickering to shame. "Alex, hey, I was gonna save it." Alex thrust the phone forward, photo glaring. "Who's he? And don't say client." Ethan deflated, running a hand through his hair. The compass tattoo mocking true directions. "His name's Riley. Old friend. From college. I ran into him last week, we grabbed drinks. It was nothing." "Nothing? You're draped over him like a prom date." Alex's voice cracked, the letters weight in his pocket a cruel irony. Love's fragility, inked and warned. Ethan stepped closer, hands up. "It was one night. Stupid, yeah. But you're the one, Alex. The real thing. Riley's. He's easy. No stakes, no town staring. But I came back to you every time." The admission landed like Evelyn's slap, fresh and stinging. Every time? How many every times were there? Visions cascaded. Ethan's late nights, the dodged texts, the looseness in his hugs. Willow Creek's whispers suddenly had teeth, not just small-town spite, but truth's ugly underbelly. "I swear, just him. Twice. Before us, mostly." Ethan's eyes pleaded, whiskey brown and wet. "I'm scared. Okay? This town, your family, it's a lot. I thought I could handle it, but when Evelyn. After the party, I panicked. Needed an out. Just for a breath." Alex laughed, hollow. "An out? You think cheating's a breather? My mom hid her love to protect us. Wrote letters about it, for God's sake. And here you are, throwing ours away like yesterday's sketch." He pulled the stack from his pocket, slamming them on the workbench, pages fluttering like wounded birds. "She chose honesty, even if it hurt. You're just running." Ethan recoiled, then surged forward, gripping Alex's arms. "Don't compare me to ghosts. I'm here, fighting for us. Riley means Jack. But you're everything. That dinner with your stepmom? I did that for you. To prove I'm in." The fight drained, leaving exhaustion's ache. Alex shrugged him off, backing toward the door. "Prove it by leaving him alone. For real. Or we're done." He walked out, the mill's echo chasing him, gravel crunching under tires as he sped to the quarry. Their spot now tainted. There, under the indifferent moon, He read the letters again, Jordan's words a lifeline. Love isn't perfect, Laura. It's the choice every damn day. Tears came then, hot and unashamed, soaking the pages. How could he choose Ethan, knowing the fracture? Yet how could he not, when their good outweighed the bad, like stars piercing storm clouds? Dawn crept pink over the water when his phone pinged. Ethan's text, a voice note. I'm sorry. Riley's blocked. Done. Meet me at the house? Please. Alex's thumb hovered, then hit play, Ethan's voice raw. I get it now, the fear, the hiding. Your mom's letters. Read 'em last night. She chose you over easy. I choose you. Over everything. The drive back was a blur, heart a war drum. Evelyn's Victorian glowed welcoming, porch light on like a beacon. Inside, Ethan waited on the swing, face shadowed, a bottle of Laura's favorite Merlot, scavenged from the cellar beside him. I told him, about us, the real us. He gets it or he doesn't. But I'm not seeing him again. Alex sat, space between them vast as the letter's secrets. Why now? Why not before? Because I was an idiot. Thought I could compartmentalize town life, escape life. But it's all one mess. Isn't it? Like your mom said in that one note. Love demands all or nothing. He poured 2 glasses, handing one over. I'm all in, Alex. If you'll have me. The wine was tart, memories flooding. Laura's laugh in the kitchen, teaching him to twirl like a dancer. Alex sipped, the swing creaking rhythm. It hurts. Trusts like an engine. Once it's seized, it's hell to fix. I know. Ethan's hand found his, tentative. Let me try. Date 1? Clean slate. No hiding. The touch sparked. Familiar fire. Alex nodded, slow. 1. But if you falter. Won't. Promise sealed with a kiss, soft as apology. The night wrapping them like forgiveness's first thread. But Willow Creek simmered. Church sermons veered oblique. Wandering sheep, come home. And the Facebook vultures circled. New posts dredging the slap, speculating on Ethan's side hustle. Evelyn, bless her, became unlikely armor. Dropping by the garage with coffee, murmuring to gossips at the market. Mind your own, Karen. One evening, she even invited Ethan for coffee, just the 2 of them. Alex eavesdropping from the hall, heart in throat. You're good for him, she said, cups clinking. Reminds me to loosen up. Your ink work. Ever thought of family portraits? Tom's side could use updating. Ethan's chuckle warmed the air. I'd like that, Evelyn. A lot. Pride swelled in Alex, mingled with fear's whisper. Love was a gamble. Letters proved it. Jordan and Laura parted by miles and choices, yet enduring. As fall leaves turned the streets to fire, he and Ethan rebuilt. Bonfires at the quarry, hands linked unashamed. Drives to Cleveland for art shows, Ethan's arm around him in crowds. The bruise faded, but scars lingered. Invisible ink, like the letters. Yet climax brewed, inevitable as harvest moon. Pastor Hale cornered Alex after service. Evelyn dragging him for optics. Bible in hand, voice oily. Son, this path is a snare. Repent before it costs you everything. The words echoed Evelyn's old fears, but Alex stood tall. Costs more to lie, Pastor. Check the scriptures. Love's the greatest command. Word spread. Invitations dried up, but so did the stares, replaced by wary nods, a tentative normal. Until the town hall meeting, where Evelyn's committee pushed a family values resolution, veiled homophobia in legalese. Alex showed up, Ethan at his side, letters in briefcase. The room hushed as he took the mic, voice steady. My family taught me values, honesty, resilience. My mom loved deeply, truly. These, he held up the stack. Proof that love doesn't fit boxes. Willow Creek's better than resolutions that break hearts. Murmurs rippled. Evelyn rose, face pale but set. He's right. I was wrong. Slapped my boy for being himself. Won't happen again. Applause scattered, then swelled, the resolution tanking in votes. Outside, under street lamps, Ethan pulled him close. Hero. Nah. Just mom's son. Kiss electric, the town a little less cage. But betrayal's shadow lingered. Riley's ghost. Ethan's flinch at old texts. One night, post-argument over nothing. Dishes. Really? But proxy for trust. Alex found Ethan's phone open. A deleted chain. Riley's miss you, man. That Ohio boy's cramping your style. Ethan's reply. Unsent. He's worth it. Back off. Relief ward with ache. You kept this. Confrontation in the kitchen. Dawn light slanting. Ethan sighed. Defeated. Couldn't delete it all. Proof for myself. Why I chose you. He cupped Alex's face. Every day I choose. Messy, yeah. But real. Alex leaned in, foreheads touching. Then let's keep choosing. Winter clamped Willow Creek in iron. Snow blanketing the fields like forgotten mercy. Holidays looming with their tinsel traps and turkey traps. Alex and Ethan's first Christmas together was a patchwork. His mom's letters as tree ornaments, scribbled quotes on cardstock, love fierce and true. Evelyn's hem thawing awkwardly on the counter, her invitation a flagged truce. Bring him, she'd said over phone, voice crisp but cracking. Tables set for 3. The Victorian glowed that eve, lights strung like hopeful veins. Ethan fidgeted in wool sweater, his fancy one from a Cleveland thrift. Bearing pie from the bakery, apple cinnamon, Laura's recipe unearthed from a letter's margin. Evelyn answered the door in red reindeer earrings, a smile forced but flowering. Come in, boys. Cold as Hades out there. Dinner unfolded tentative. Grace said over clasped hands, Ethan's thumb stroking Alex's knuckle under the table. Stories swapped like gifts. Evelyn's childhood in Dayton, Ethan's nomadic folks crisscrossing the Rust Belt. Dad was a welder, Mom a dreamer, Ethan said, carving turkey. Taught me to fix what's broke, chase what's not. Alex caught Evelyn's glance, soft. Sounds like Laura. She passed the rolls, then impulsive. I kept one box of hers. Photos, mostly. Upstairs. Thought you'd want to see. After pie, they climbed to the attic. Dust motes dancing in lamplight. The air thick with cedar and what-ifs. The box yawned open. Snapshots of Laura, sunlit and laughing. Hiking the Smokies, arms around a cropped-haired woman, Jordan, unmistakable. Alex as a toddler on her hip, gap-toothed grin. One Polaroid gutted. Laura and Jordan on a San Francisco pier, windswept, kissing with eyes closed, Alcatraz hazy behind. She sent it once, Evelyn whispered. I burned the envelope, kept the picture. Couldn't let go. Alex traced the frame, tears pricking. Thank you. Ethan squeezed his shoulder. Silent solidarity. That night, in bed, limbs entwined, Alex murmured. Feels like she's here, approving. She is, Ethan replied, breath warm. And damn, we're lucky. Spring thawed the rifts slow. Evelyn joining them for diner breakfasts, her barbs blunted to banter. The town easing into acceptance, pride flags fluttering discreet from porches like shy blooms. Alex enrolled in community college, nights studying lit while Ethan sketched beside him. Their apartment a cozy chaos of books and blueprints. Love deepened, not in grand gestures but quiet ones. Ethan's hand in his at the hardware store, Alex's notes in Ethan's lunch. Choose you today. Yet conflict simmered, inevitable as sap rising. Riley resurfaced, not in flesh but echo. A package at the mill, sketches returned with a note. Thought you needed these. Doors open if you tire of small-town blues. Ethan showed Alex immediately, face open. Burn it. Together. They did. In the quarry fire pit. Flames devouring paper. Ash swirling like released ghosts. No more doors, Alex said, kissing soot from Ethan's lip. But the real storm hit Memorial Day. Willow Creek's parade a ribbon of red, white, blue down Main. Bands marching, vets saluted. Alex and Ethan walked hand in hand, deliberate first public claim since the slap. Cheers mixed with murmurs. But ahead, Pastor Hale's float loomed. Banner screaming, traditional values save America. As they passed, his megaphone blared. Repent, Sons, God's design ain't bendable. Alex halted, pulse thundering, Ethan's grip tightening. The crowd hushed, eyes on them like spotlights. Evelyn, marching with the committee, broke ranks, mic snatched. Enough, Harold. My boy's design is God's, fierce, loving, true, like his mother's. She thrust a letter skyward, Jordan's North Star 1, enlarged on poster board, words bold. Love demands all. Gasps, then applause, scattered, swelling to a wave. Jenny hooped from the sidelines, kids waving tiny flags. Pastor Hale sputtered, float creaking on. But the tide turned. Floats pausing, hands clapping Alex and Ethan's backs. Proud of you, Harlan. Climax crested there, under bunting and brass, Evelyn's arm linking theirs. A triad forged in fire. Tears streaked her face, mascara rivers. She'd be proud, she whispered. All of us. The after-party at the VFW was cathartic. Beers flowing, toasts to Harlan grit. Ethan sketching caricatures on napkins. Alex reciting Whitman to tipsy aunts. Evelyn danced. A clumsy two-step with Uncle Ray, laughing free, unpearled. But humanism's quiet core waited in the unwind. Months later, a road trip west, chasing Laura's trails. San Francisco's fog welcomed. Golden Gate arched like a promise. They found Jordan, aged graceful, silver-streaked, running a bookstore in the Castro. Alex's knock trembled. Door opened to eyes like his mom's, sharp and seeing. You've got her fire, Jordan said over tea. Letters returned like prodigal sons. Stories poured. Motels, fights, the accidents void. She was coming to me. Chose us in the end. Hugs lingered, numbers exchanged. A family reclaimed. Back in Ohio, summer hummed content. Alex graduated with an associate's in English. Ethan's firm landing a Cleveland contract. Roots deepening, not fleeing. Evelyn's attic cleared. Letters framed in the living room. A gallery of truths. One evening, porch swing swaying. Alex leaned on Ethan's shoulder, fireflies winking. Think she knew it'd end like this? Ethan kissed his temple. Knew you would. Fierce and true. Evelyn emerged with lemonade, settling beside. To choices, she toasted, glasses clinking under stars. In Willow Creek's gentle arc, love proved no filth, but foundation. Slaps forgiven, letters eternal. Hearts mended in the American grain. Flawed, resilient, achingly human.